Welcome back to another episode of Chocolate Conversations Podcast, where we have real conversations that speak directly to you. I'm your host, Keon Taylor, alongside my co-host, the inspirational Dr. V.
Hey, what's good?
What's going on?
How
Beautiful?
Are you? Thank you.
I can't call it like a bad referee. You know what I mean? And last but not least, the myth, the legend, Chocolate Boy Wonder, Hot Feet Stokes. What's going on, brother?
What's going on?
Man, I can't call her, man. I forgot. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes.
She's an author. She's an actress. She handles her business. Nara Envy. What's going on with you?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Neighborhood Chocolate Conversation Podcast. You know, here you family, we show love. And if it's love, let it be love. It's always love today.
No doubt.
And while we get into this, guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this video, share this video, comment on this video. Let's get into this.
Let's get into it.
Woo! I don't think y'all ready for this topic today. I don't even think y'all ready, bro. Y'all want the smoke? Y'all ready for this?
Light it up.
You know what I mean? All right. Women are better cheaters. Let's go ahead and settle this once for all. I'm going to reiterate it. Women, I said it, are better cheaters than men. Or are they? Well, we're about to find out. So why are women better cheaters than men, or are they? Let's go straight into it. Why are women better cheaters than men?
Y'all ain't gonna give y'all perspective first?
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Hey, we could, you know what?
We might be more calculated, like better. We're smarter, we a little bit strategic. And what's so crazy is because we always hear, okay, women we're more emotional and men are logical, but when it comes to cheating, it's like we're more, we plan strategic about it. We'll let our female friends know, like, hey, cover me, but y'all won't even do that. Y'all will forget to call your homeboy and be like, yo, I need an alibi and stuff like that. And y'all are kind of sloppy.
And also too is because we women are born with the detective skills. So when you you got the skills.
Yeah.
You can find out, if you meet a guy, all you need is his name, go on his socials, and you find out what his mama looked like. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. So with you guys are careless.
Yeah.
And
And then I think y'all let a lot of some guys who cheat, especially if you're a serial cheater, it's a lot of pride and ego. And then sometimes y'all think y'all won't get caught. So it's like, okay, you're not really covering your bases, but if some women do cheat, and I'm saying women, whoever does, because I've never done it personally, but if somebody does, you're like, okay, I'm making sure A, B, and C, D, X, like everything. And you're so analytical about it. Like I know people they're like, nah, I gotta have all this covered because he ain't gonna find out unless I tell him. So
I think you guys make some really good valid points. I do think women cover their tracks more. I do think they're smart, and they're gonna look ahead. If they say, hey, I was at Keisha's house at 5, but then she might be at Tony's house at 5:30, but they always say, a half truth is the perfect lie. So maybe she was at her homegirl house, but they say, okay, girl, I'm about to go over Dirty Dick Tyrone's house real quick. Go ahead and get it in real quick. But I was here. So when he called, hey, my girl, she here. She just in the bathroom. Yeah, she said, oh, okay. So he has peace of mind, but she's really at Dirty Dick Tyrone's house, getting her back blown slam out. You know what I mean? And it's like, as men, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask this question to you, Hafiz. Why aren't men really on top of it like that? Because men, when we do it, it's like, there, where you at? Where you like that?
Right.
I'm at Tony's house. She said, you ain't in no damn Tony's house.
Though. No, because men are on top of it. Because I personally work with men.
Okay.
And I've heard some stories, and I'm not going to share stories like, so-and-so, whatever. But there was a story where the guy had a feeling his girl was cheating. And this was back in the days, in the 90s, when you had the recorder, what is it, I forgot the name of it, the answer machine.
Oh, okay.
And he put a tap on her line, and she was real messy. And apparently, he just had the whole conversation. She couldn't even get out of that. And then I heard another story where the guy put his cell phone in the girl's car, and he's confiding in me, telling me this, and he was like, "Yeah, old girl's cheating on me." So
because he heard the conversation.
Yes.
So that was them being smart though.
Yes.
Most dudes ain't thinking like that.
They're not. And these women got caught.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then again, when you deal with somebody, you're in a cheating relationship, it's gonna come back to you. So if you're dealing with a woman and she was cheating on you, she was cheating on her man, that's how you got her. Well, that's how it's gonna end up. They say, what is it? You end up like how you begin with.
Yeah, how you got them. Yeah,
So
you lose them
why
how
do
you got
people do
'em.
that? Why do people like if somebody's already in a relationship and say that you snatch that person away from their relationship? Why do people think that person gonna do something any different than what they already doing? They cheated with that person. What makes you think they won't do that to you?
Ego.
I think that's common
Yeah.
sense.
Ego. They
Ego.
think like, oh, they're not gonna do that to me.
Yeah,
I'm different. I'm
Yeah.
different.
Different.
Ego.
Yeah,
Ego.
yeah. I got better at
It is.
this, so I know how to take care. And they're delusional about why the person might have been cheating, and then
I agree.
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna just pick it back off your point. Women are better cheaters because, like you said, they're more calculated. And they have more options. They have more options to cheat. There are more options available. They can go out and hook up with a guy just like that if they want to. Where most guys just don't have that ability to go out and
That's not
have
true.
the option.
I don't agree with that.
Most guys don't.
I don't
Trust
agree
me.
with that. I
Most
don't agree
guys
with
don't.
that.
Most guys don't.
I don't agree with that.
Please
I don't agree with that.
let me finish. And then also from a societal standpoint, women can get a little more grace and sympathy for cheating versus men. You know, a woman can say, for instance, for her excuses for her cheating is there was lacking in the relationship. There was a spark. There was something missing. And people can kind of like, yeah, the sisterhood can kind of roll, but like, yeah, girl, you can get empowered for cheating. Yeah, like, yeah, he wasn't doing you right. Damn, girl. Yeah, go see what that brother's talking about. Versus a guy, we cheat. We just wrong, just all the way point. We could say, yeah, she wasn't giving me enough attention. She was always working or this and that, or, we wasn't seeing each other as often. So I had to go, I had those distractions became more apparent now. So we can get, women can get a little bit more sympathy for their cheating excuses versus guys.
From society.
Yeah, from a societal standpoint. Yes.
I don't know, because women get labeled a hoe if a woman cheats, where a man's gonna be a man.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there are some.
And then
double
piggybacking
standards.
on what you were
Yeah,
saying
sure.
previously, as far as the
More
woman
options
more
women,
options
yeah.
and the guys not. No, that's not true, because I just heard a story just the other day that this guy was growing up with this guy, and his friend had told him, he's like, yo, these kids around the corner, everybody say they look like us. Come to find out, daddy had a whole family around the corner. So he's got family right here raising his kids, and he's got a family right here. And these kids are growing up with each other like neighborhood kids. Come to find out, they were siblings. So women can't do that, though. If women go ahead and cheat, they can't have another family. Where men can go ahead and have multiple families here and there and there, and
I
get away with
get
that.
you, but that's only one man that did that, right? One man.
no,
that
that happens a lot.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
but
Because if
you
you
don't,
think
you
about it
don't,
back in
but
the
you
day.
don't see a whole bunch of men collectively having outside families like that, because they just don't they don't have. Only a small percentage of men can dibble in a bunch of women like that. Anyway,
I disagree.
Which is good, because disagreement is good. So yeah, you could, because it's different. Yeah, I don't think women have more options. I think we're more disciplined in saying no to.
you say women don't have
more options.
More options.
Wait a minute.
Women in today's dating market, women have way more options.
You talking about for
to
sex?
cheat.
No, but we're not
Than
talking
men.
about. But y'all are talking. He's talking about women have a lot of options because he's looking at it just as sex. But if we look at the reasons, I think why me and you are disagreeing with what you're saying, Hafiz, is because when a woman goes to cheat, it's not just about the sex.
I
It's
get you.
about
I
it's
get
like
you.
the
I get
emotional
you.
thing.
Attention.
And so
It's all of that,
it's usually that unless there are some women who they don't like the sex with the dude, so they are just cheating with, you said, Dirty D Rodney. Okay, because he's blowing out my
Dirty
back,
Dick Tyrone,
but my husband
yeah.
ain't. So that might be a reason, but that's small. That's small, right?
Yeah.
But so as far as options, no, because when we're thinking about it, again, we're looking for certain things. What you said, why what we're not getting, and then it won't be a lot of options that are fulfilling that.
And that's why a man is hurt more when a woman cheats,
Right.
because
I get you.
he's when a man cheats, he just thinks about it in that moment, and then he has
Yeah.
regrets.
Yeah.
But when a woman is, because there's a void.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
mean, you
void.
stay facts. I'm not gonna lie. Why stick my dick ain't got nothing to do with what my heart is.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could be in love. I could love you so much. I'm talking about really love you. And I had a weak moment. I fucked up. But when a woman cheats, because most women don't want to cheat. Most women want their guy. Most women, I'm talking about if they had it their way, they'll just be locked in with their guy.
Right.
Well, if a woman cheats, she probably done thought about it 6 months ahead of schedule before she even decided to do it.
It was a build-up. It
was a build-up.
It's not usually a slip-up.
A man, if he cheats, like, you know what? But a man could cheat and he don't even care nothing about that chick. He don't care nothing for her. It's like, this can't just happen, but I still love my wife. You're not replacing my wife.
I would say women are more forgiving than cheating than men are. I give you that. Yeah.
Women are more forgiving.
So let's go to the percentage. Why don't we say 80% of the women that probably do cheat? Because there is a 20% that does not cheat.
Yeah. I don't even know if I say it's that high because men cheat more than women. So definitely.
So would y'all? So is that true enough to say? Is it true that men cheat more, but women just do it better?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Go ahead, Hafiz.
We doing it better.
And I'm gonna say it again. Are we trying to say men cheat more, but women just do it better? Is that what we're saying right now?
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
That's
right.
I'm speaking.
Okay. Let's go at it.
Go ahead, Hafiz. Say how you feel.
Do you say women cheat more?
I'm gonna say this. The reason why statistically they say that men and women cheat rapidly around the same is because they put both the physical and the emotional affair together. Men probably do more cheating physically, but women probably have a lot of emotional affairs where they have a guy they can be emotionally
but that's not
attached
cheating.
to. If you define to him, you give him attention. There's a reason why they have a work husband, your male best friend, all these different characters who just orbiting around you, waiting for their chance that you keep in the friend zone, just for the main nigga to fuck up so he can step in. I mean,
it depends what we have defined in our relationship as cheating. I mean, as far as emotional connection, because some men might be okay with the woman having male friends that are platonic that they're real cool with and that not bother them. Because I noticed it depends on how secure y'all are in y'all shit.
Secure, yep.
If y'all are real insecure,
that's completely subjective as far as the person's security.
But that's what I'm saying. If a man is insecure, he does usually have a problem with women having like a dope ass male friend.
And that's because he's probably got a whole bunch of female friends that he's sitting back waiting for them to comfort them.
Y'all saying a whole bunch of different layers, but some people having an emotional an affair with somebody, and and a lot of times, sometimes it can be that friend zone, a guy that show interest in you, but he's not, because you're involved with somebody else or you're not interested in him at the moment, but you still keep him in the friend zone, and he could be that guy. Soon as the main guy messes up, he could be right there as your emotional blanket, or even that emotional blanket could turn into something physical.
Why he just can't be your best friend, like a female friend.
Okay.
You don't believe in that?
I'm not sure that. Do y'all feel like emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating? I'm curious.
I think
to me, I'm gonna say physical cheating is worse, but
emotionally,
some people say, but a lot of people say emotional is worse.
No, physical, because you're connecting and you're exchanging energies, and
it's soul ties.
Yeah, it's soul ties.
Don't get me started about that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great question,
some people can debate that, but I agree. I agree with y'all on that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, but see, but this is what I love about the show, because he's asking my opinion and my perspective. Like he's talking, he's asking us. You're right. Everything can be subjective. Everything can be debated. But it's like, how do we feel, or the people we know? So yeah, it's physical to us. We all agree. We said physical cheating is worse.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question, man. This is something that I've been trying to figure out, and I still haven't been able to figure out that. Why do people cheat? And is it natural? Is it natural for a motherfucker to want their cake and eat it too? Because I'm not gonna lie, I've had phases in my life where I wanted my cake and eat it too. I wanted what I wanted when I wanted, because I feel like when you just look at just natural habitat, is it natural for people to want what they want when they want it and to cheat versus? Because I feel like with monogamy, you're taught how to be monogamy, right? Monogamy is taught.
No.
Why would you say it's not? Why would you say monogamy
It's just
isn't
like,
taught?
okay, so I'm gonna take it to, all the creatures in this world. So you know how they say, have you taught your kids about the birds and the bees, right? So when the swan, when they mate, they stay together. And if the mate dies, the swan doesn't mate again. Now you got the owls. When the owls mate, okay, the male sticks around until the offsprings are actually, on their own. They get to go get their own food or whatever. Now you'll see some birds where you just see the female by itself, right? Laying the eggs, and she's the one that's nurturing them, right? Single mom. So I like to compare each individual, like who do you resonate with? We got the peacock. Peacock is a beautiful bird. Okay. It's a promiscuous bird. Okay, so if you really pay attention,
the lions. Lions are very.
Lions.
The
lions. But even this is crazy. But even the lioness, the lioness will protect their cub. Like, so if a lion comes into the community and kills the lioness there, the lioness, obviously the lion will be the king. She'll protect her cubs and she'll have sex with the lion so that he won't hurt her cubs. So it's pretty deep. No, what do you mean? You need to look it up. Go ahead and look it up. Look it up.
Now this is exactly.
No, you got to look it up. But what I'm saying is, what you resonate with. What animal do you resonate with?
Men probably resonate more with the lions because if you look at this, in the lion territory, when you have a lion pride, it's generally like 2 or 3 male lions and a bunch of lionesses and cubs. That's the lion pride, and you have 3 dominant male lions. And generally, since they are the leaders, by them being the leaders, they are gifted, in so speak, with to be able to procreate and spread their seeds to multiple lioness, the dominant gene to the multiple lioness, which kind of we see some of the same mating strategy sometimes in humans. Do we not? When you have, it's the reason why certain males have their seeds spread all around. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but
it's no discipline.
They do say that back in the day, obviously when, our ancestors were living in caves, that when a man would go out, his wife would be pregnant and he would go look for some food or something. He'll end up being in another cave and mate with another woman because he want to, keep his seed going. And obviously he'll forget about his other family. But I still believe that, like, we resonate with, which animal do you resonate with? Is, if you feel like you're promiscuous and you need more than one person, that's you. But if you feel like you're committed and you just want to be committed with one person, then that's what you resonate with.
Because some people have to, you got some people out here have to go to rehab not to cheat. And it's like, damn, why? So it goes back to my question. Why do people cheat? What's the way? If you have everything you need at home, or if you have what you need here, why? Because you have people that may have it good at home, but still cheat.
I think it's an inner thing, like what you're missing out. Because so if you're not happy with yourself, like let's go back to your childhood. So if you had because everybody has gone through something, right? And that little inner child of you, if you don't make that peace, you're gonna go through life looking for something in the outside, and other people would. In actuality, you have to go within to look for it. So once you're complete, you'll match that person. You'll attract, because we're mirroring each other. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're marrying each other. So if you're in a good space, then you don't have to worry about, is my partner going to cheat on me? Because I know I'm complete. So they're going to match you. So I believe that it's coming from unresolved issues. And it's a void that you're looking for outside of you.
So it can't just be the feeling of, I feel you, I agree with you, but it can't just be the feeling of, what about the people who just want their cake and eat it too?
Again,
I just want a little something on the side. I'm not saying it's right, but it's like shit. If a man's happily married and say he go to DR, hanging out with his boys and having a good time, bachelor party, whatever, maybe this chick is bouncing that big old ass on this Johnson, and he just want to have a little good time, and he cheats, but he's probably still love his wife back at home. He's probably still a great father, a great husband, but he just had his cake and eat it too.
Yeah, but if he truly loves his wife, he would not cheat. Sorry. I'm just saying, that's the ego. He's operating from the ego because he's wanting the flesh. He wants what's outside.
Yeah, because you have men. I've never cheated on someone, so it's really hard for me to answer that question personally. I've been cheated on, and it's been said because, they wanted. It wasn't a situation of I just got tempted and I couldn't say no. Because I do understand that does happen, but that's why you have to use wisdom and be smart and know yourself. Don't put yourself in certain situations.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Yeah. So that happens, but it was other things. To your point, it was other things going on with them, or they were younger. Why they cheated on me? It had nothing to do. Usually, it has nothing to do with the other person.
No,
and that's the thing I was getting at. Sometimes when a man cheats, it has nothing to do with you. It could just be something else going on. You know what I mean? And it might not necessarily be something he's got going on the inside. Because let's be honest, man. Even if we're in a relationship or not, I think it's natural for us to be attracted to other people. I mean,
of course.
I mean, social media is sex. I mean, sex is everywhere. Movies, you got social media, beautiful women. And
It's a natural
here's
thing.
the crazy part about it. You can go to the gym right now and there's sex in there. You know, big booties, you know, muscles. You probably see a guy in that thing, he a hunk. I kind of see, wow, very attractive people in there. So I think it's natural to want other things. I just think that some people choose to act on it, some people don't choose to act on it.
Right.
Willpower.
Yeah, it's discipline. That's what I was saying.
And it's so hard, you know, but they say we're a spirit with a flesh that lives in the body. It's like sometimes your flesh just get weak. And I feel like sometimes it's a spiritual warfare. You know, like me being a man of God, I struggle with that sometimes where, you know, I'm in tune with my spirit, you know, but like my man Ye said, how you stay faithful in a room full of hoes must be as Pharaoh's, he in tune with his soul. It's a lot. It's hard. It's not as easy. I think it's easier for women. I'm going to just say this. I think it's easier for you guys to reject dick because you have a vagina. Men been offering you sex since you were 6 or 10 years old. So of course you could, you know, when a man being nice to you, you know, they offering penis. But with men, I think it's a little bit different where, you know, if a woman offer him some butt, now don't get me wrong, some men out here are disciplined and some men out here are not. But I think it's a lot easier for you guys to just say, you know what, I'm gonna just stay faithful to my guy and not do anything versus a man, especially if it's a man who ain't used to getting it like that and it's just on a platter. You know, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's hard to ignore that.
I mean, sadly, this is how men are wired. I know y'all want to say it's discipline, but it's if you look at just biology and nature, this is men are kind of designed and wired like that. That's why I mentioned earlier, the man with the most dominant genes spread his seed around. You take now we live in a more structured society where you will pay a cost for doing that. You know, but it's still in our indoctrinate nature to, you know, want to have as many women that our looks, that our DNA, that our status and all can obtain. You know, that's why men work on themselves to try to attract.
They work on superficial things, right? Yeah. To attract that.
The cars. And
to attract the highest caliber.
But
woman
even though it's supposedly in y'all DNA or whatever, how you guys are wired, there's still a lot of men who probably never cheated on a woman.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly.
Because again, it's still, yes, it might be easier for us, but I like what you said. When you're talking about it's spiritual warfare, women and men deal with that the same thing at the same rate. So it's like it's still very challenging.
So you say y'all still get, even though y'all don't act on it, do you guys still get the urge? Like when you see a guy like, man, I would hit that. I'm not saying I'm going to, but I would, because you know with men, you know, they have this show called Smash or Pass. You know, I do them, or I would do her. I would do that.
And I like to attribute some of it. Again, we talk about the age thing. Men, when y'all are in your prime in the 18s and 20s and whatever, and you know, early 20s,
bunny rabbits.
Yeah. but women, it hits until late 30s, early 40s, early 50s because of our hormones. A lot of this stuff. So that makes it harder for us.
Women after 40 are the most freakiest
because it's harder.
Like
they want
it
more
yesterday.
Challenging. Yeah, it's more challenging.
And I think too, though, a woman's more confident. She knows who she is already, and you know she's already gone through whatever.
Yeah. So she knows her body. Is that
you definitely know your body.
Definitely.
Because you know who you are.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it's very more challenging for me now to say I'm celibate waiting until marriage than if it was when I was younger, because I'm dealing with the hormonal. I'm dealing with the physical things. You're talking about DNA. We got hormones that we deal with because of how God made us and to have babies. So it's like some of that is hard. You got to get on medicine or different things women have to do.
Let me ask y'all a question. Yeah. Is being faithful or being committed in a relationship, is that something that's taught? Does that start in the home? Is that something that you just make a conscious decision to just do? Explain that, because you have a lot of people that want to be faithful, but they just struggle too because there's so much temptation out here. It's a struggle trying not to eat that donut that you've been trying to avoid, but you just get the munchies or whatever. But is being faithful, is that taught? Or is that something that people just make a conscious decision to just do? Because it's not easy at all.
I
wants
still
to do.
feel like it's innately. It depends on the person. I'm going to keep saying that. And the only reason why I say that, because, you know, like even when I was in high school, I've always been that person that nobody taught me this. Don't date, you know, your ex-boyfriend's cousin. Don't date your ex-boyfriend's friend, or don't date your homegirl's, you know, ex-man. You know, it's been, you know, when I was a teenager, I have a crush on a guy and he might like the other girl. And then he'll come at me like a year later, try to holler at me. I'm like, no, because you went out with my homegirl. Nobody taught me that. But that's just something that innately within myself
And I
that
can
I
connect
just
with
knew.
that. Like, I would
so
never
I
date
just
somebody
think that
that
innately some people are just built that way. They just, it's not something that's taught. Because you could be in a household where it's a broken home, right? And you go ahead and when you grow up, your household is totally different from what you were taught. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes you break generational curses down the road. But I feel like it's just something that is just what resonates with you. You know what I mean? That's just me.
Because I always wonder what separates the faithful man from the serial cheater. What separates somebody who's just don't have any control versus somebody that says, you know what? If I walk through door number 2 and I know what I'm going to find in there and I know what I'm going to do, I'm just smart enough not to walk through door number 2 because I know it's a bunch of big booty, whatever chicks in there. So I know not to walk through door number 2. Smart. You got some guys say, you know what? I'm happy, but I'm just curious. Let me walk through door number 2. Let me just see what's in there.
I'm still going to say that it's what they're missing inside.
What about you, Dr. V? Is being faithful taught?
It could be. I would say it could be both.
Okay.
I know people who were taught, raised like that. I would say I was raised like that. Parents still together. I always get it wrong. Hey, mommy, daddy, 46 years or whatever. But I was taught like that. But I also still make a conscious decision to I've never cheated on anybody. I would rather leave and be done with the situation than go to that level. I've never, so it was both. But I do know people, to your point, that have it innately in them to make that conscious decision over and over to never do it. But I do have friends, and I know people who said no, that it was how they were raised.
Okay.
Because we have to understand, like, a lot of how we were raised has to do with our adult.
Yeah, it conforms us.
Yeah, everything.
Absolutely.
We have to break it. And to your point, when you said sometimes you do have to break generational curses, and people don't believe that that's a thing. That is a real thing. If you see a similar pattern in the family, like everybody's divorced by a certain age, or everybody has been married,
and they haven't even been together.
Right. Or if you see everybody got a certain illness, there's certain things that have to be broken, to your point. So I agree. I agree.
What about you, Fish?
Yes, it can be taught, and then it can be with an instinct too, like kind of what you were saying, because we're faithful to our jobs, faithful to our barbers, faithful to things that that outside our relationship bonds, and it can be taught, like just based on like our background, where we come from. If you come from certain family dynamics and you've seen like loyalty or good faith people, that can transition to how your kids and your offspring and your family. So it can be taught, and it's just really just depends on the person if they have the will and the discipline to want to go that route. So that's what I'm saying.
I like that. Good stuff. I would say for me, with cheating, I'll say both. I feel like it's with being faithful, it's taught, but I also think too, knowing what you have. And what I mean by that is, if I know I have a good woman and I know I love her for these things, and I said, man, I don't even want to jeopardize these things that I have or what we've built, or kids, or I know the family courts is going to drag my black ass, or whatever it is, then I know, then I'm going to have some sort of incentive. I'm going to have something that's pushing me not to do it. But just to say I'm just not going to cheat. I'm not saying I'm a cheater, but I'm just saying for a person to just say they're just not going to cheat when they can get away with it and nothing happens. I mean, for me to just believe that people just not going to cheat just because it's just the wrong thing to do, I think we're sadly mistaken. But I think if they understand the why behind why they're not going to cheat, then I think that'll give people more of an incentive not to cheat. But if you don't know that why, and that why is not clear, then I mean, ain't no telling what you got going on. Let me ask y'all this. When it comes to love, like say I'm in love with you, you're my wife. I'm in love with you. I love you so much. Can I really love you and really cherish you and adore you and still cheat on you? Even though I love you so much, you my wife, I adore you. I would do anything for you. I would take a bullet for you. But I cheated.
You cheated once or multiple times?
I cheated once. I fucked up.
Yeah, I think that can happen. It does happen. Yeah, because it's to what you're saying, like, we all fall short, right?
Yeah, we do.
It's what I say is, don't put yourself in a situation, use wisdom. But let's be honest, a lot of people don't use wisdom. And they put themselves in situations because there goes pride and ego. Pride becomes before the fall. Pride, like, oh, I can beat this, or I can be around somebody and not be tempted. You done had too much to drink. You hear about this all the time. This happens when we work conferences before COVID. All right, when we used to all do a lot of work conferences, right? And you say work husband, work wife, you know, you go to y'all, everybody at the bar, you having drink, we unwinding after a day of conference, and then you get the talking. It happens. It especially happens on like work trips, and it doesn't mean with the woman or the man, they very in love with their spouse. They want to leave them, but to your point, people have a situation that happens and they do regret it and things of that nature. So it's like, okay, that's why I asked you, did it happen once? Because there's a difference. And I think men, y'all kind of abuse this a little bit because y'all know that women, we are, like you said, more forgiving. And we will, most of the times, we'll be likely to stay because we're thinking like, wow, all of this, like,
you built, or why would you want to throw away
over one time? And he's really remorseful. Does he have changed behavior? We're willing, more acceptable to forgive that than if we cheat on y'all. It's like World War V. Like, y'all ain't having it, right?
I got a question for Hafiz next. I was going to say, Hafiz, if we reverse that,
it's definitely,
because I was going to turn it around and say, okay, Hafiz, in love with y'all, in love with each other, love, mother your children, love her to death. You love her so much.
And she cheats.
She go to Jamaica with her homegirls. You know what I mean? A lot to drink. You know, one of them Rastafarians blew her back out.
Them Jamaican men. Ooh, that's temptation.
She came back and had a guilty. She had a guilty conscience. She said, "Damn, you know, maybe her and the Rastafarian was getting it in 2 days straight. 2 days straight.
That jerk pork.
But she had a guilty conscience. She could have easily just said, you know what? Whatever happens in Jamaica stays in Jamaica.
Right.
So that jerk pork.
She's had to sit down with you and told you what happened, Hafiz.
Nah.
Is it worth throwing away what you guys have built over the years? Or would you say, you know what, therapy, something like that, but is it worth walking away from? Or would you say, I can't do it?
I mean, like V said, if it was like one episode, I really appreciate her being open and transparent with me about it. Because if she hid it and I had to find out, then that's diabolical work. You know what I mean? And because it's different when it comes to cheating for men and women, it's definitely different.
It's very different.
It's definitely different. Like, I know women hate this, that men can do it and still go home and love their wife, because men don't really they don't have to have emotional attachment like that towards a side distraction versus with women. And men look at it like as if a woman did it, then it's something lacking, or she already built some emotion attachment, because it's more emotional for women versus men when it comes to cheating. And then there was always just like a rule of thumb when it comes to any outside situation, especially for men. If you are going to engage in any of that activity behind your wife's back, don't embarrass your wife. Don't bring none of that shit home.
Yep.
Don't bring no diseases or outside babies.
Yes.
None of that stuff. That's why people always found out at wakes. You find out, you find your other whole family and stuff. So that was the rule of thumb. But to answer, I know I said a whole lot, but just
I'm confused. Question. Yeah, what would you do?
No, I said I would try to work the situation out.
Okay.
I'm gonna give y'all my honest perspective.
It'll be tough. It'll be tough.
It'll be tough. Yeah,
It'll be tough.
I'm gonna be straight with y'all. I can't forgive nobody who cheat on me. I can't. I just don't. I don't have a forgiving spirit when it comes to that. You know, she cheated on me, step out on me one time. The trust is out the door for me. But hey, I'm not saying I'm perfect. And I believe in forgiveness. That don't mean I gotta rock with you going forward. You know what I mean? But for me, I can't forgive cheating, because at the end of the day, I don't think it's natural for a woman to cheat. I don't think it's it's natural. If a woman's in a good relationship with a guy, she really loves a guy, and you gonna fuck around and cheat on me.
You don't think it's natural?
So it's double standard. So it's double
Cheat on a guy that
standard.
she loves,
Let me
that
ask-
she's really into.
And I agree.
Fuck that.
But see,
so for me, no, I'm not forgiving that. I'm
When you
just
love,
not
you
for
shouldn't
me.
cheat.
But
I'm
even,
not
Is
doing
this, let me ask, is this your wife or girlfriend? Because
No,
that
he
could be
said
different.
I'm gonna say both.
He
I'm gonna
said
say both.
wife.
I'm gonna say
wife.
both.
He's
if
asking.
it's the wife, if it's the wife,
he's answering the
No.
same
You-
question
you-
me and you just answered.
Okay, I
and
want
he
to make sure
said
if
no.
it's the wife or
I'm
the
gonna say
girlfriend.
I'm gonna say either or, because I'm not gonna look at you the same. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say go back. I appreciate you being honest with me. Get your things. I need you to go back
It's that
back to
thin
that
line
dude
between love and
that
hate.
you slept with, and we good.
So can I ask a question?
Ask me.
And this is from.
I want the smoke.
Okay, no, because it's not no smoke. But I know you mentioned it because we love chocolate conversations. Always
There you go.
vulnerable, right? And so you mentioned it before that in the past when you were younger, you've cheated before.
I have cheated before.
Right, and so you've been honest with us in
Yep.
saying you might have cheated because of depending where you were mentally,
Absolutely.
or you didn't realize, or it was just a situation of temptation.
Right, because I wanted to.
Okay, and then but if you're with a wife and they do it, you're just like immediate like.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because that's me. Because at the end of the day, if somebody cheat on me, you didn't think about me before you did that. Did you think about the family? Did you think about what we've built? You didn't think about any of that. You just wanted what you wanted when you wanted. Now I'm not saying I'm right for not forgiving her. But
No,
at the,
no,
but
it's
at,
your-
but, but
I
at the
just
end of the
wanted to get
day,
your-
I'm looking at the loyalty. I'm looking
Yeah.
at. I'm looking at it like, you know, if I'm the kind of guy, if I can't have it all, I don't want it. So you mean tell me you gave some stranger you don't even know. You gave him a piece of you that's supposed to be mine. I'm gonna feel some type of way about that. And here's the thing: if the tables were turned and I cheated on a female, if I cheated on my wife, I got to take what comes with that. Whether she forgives me or not, I gotta eat that as a man. So if she don't, if I say, baby, please, baby, I'm begging, please, Jodeci. And she don't forgive me. She just don't forgive me. I gotta eat that. I gotta say, you know what? I'm gonna learn from this. I'm gonna do better with the next woman. But I'm gonna at least try. But if she don't, I can't expect her to forgive me or not because that's her choice. At the end of the day, she's the one hurt in this situation. I hurt our relationship. I hurt our union. So I gotta take what comes with that as a man.
No, you're entitled to that,
Even though in the perfect world, yeah, forgive me, please take me back. I'll do better. But if it don't turn out that way, cool.
No, you're entitled to that. I just wanted you to elaborate why, because we hear that, right? So we hear that men have done it in the past themselves, might have been multiple times, but if a woman does it to them, they don't forgive. But this is where it goes to. That's why I feel like women, we know how y'all are.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like if they do cheat, it's like, man, we know there's a chance that you're not going to forgive us. Most men do think like you said, there's not enough grace given. It might not even be emotional connection. Most of the time it is, but like if it's a girl's trip, and because we see that all the time. People say they done blew up their marriage accidentally. People got too much drunk, a birthday trip, and then the girls, everybody was turning up, and it was just like it is what it is.
Slipped and fall on some
yeah,
penis.
it happens or whatever.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying it
Slipped and
right,
fall on
but
some penis.
we
Yeah,
know
I got
that happens, and so that's why I just wanted you to articulate and elaborate.
Absolutely.
Like,
Let me ask you this. I got another question to follow up on that. Do y'all feel like cheating is forgivable based on the type of man or the type of woman you're dealing with? Now, I'm going somewhere with that. I'm going to give you an example. Say if a man he's well-accomplished man of power. Because I remember, and I love Martin Luther King. I love Dr. Martin Luther King. He had over 40 extramarital affairs on Coretta. Even though he was a good man, you understand his marks, but she still stuck by him regardless, even when the FBI was bombing, because him and Malcolm X, they were the most bombed in the 60s as far as hotel rooms, tapping everything.
You mean bugged?
Yeah, bugged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bugged. So do you guys feel like based on a man's position or based on a woman's position and where she is, it's a little bit more accepting or forgiving versus it being a regular person who's cheating? Like, can some people just get away? Can some people kind of, you know what I mean? Like it can.
I get
You're
what
trying to
saying.
say power.
Because of their power and stuff.
Their status.
Yeah,
Some
you
of
know
that
what I
is
mean?
true.
Based
Some of
on
that is true.
their prestige and where they at. You know what I mean?
Depends on
Like
the
I
person.
hate to say
Right?
like
Yeah,
Jeff
depends on- depends on the woman.
Bezos or what's his name? What's his name? The billionaire. I can't even think of it. But if they cheat on their wives, I'm sure, you know, they're not going to have the same repercussions as probably what you and I would probably have.
Yeah, but
if we
even like
cheated.
people that don't have a man that's on status, there's plenty of women that are with a guy and it's a habitual behavior and she still stays with him, she'll ride or die with him.
So what do you think keeps that together? What do you think? Is it just individual? Like, what's in their mind? Like, you know what? I'm not. Why should they have them?
It's too much.
It's a lot of different layers.
It can either be sometimes you're codependent with that person too, and that's what you're comfortable with that person because you've been with that person for so long, and it becomes a toxic relationship. Or again, it goes back to insecurity. You're not confident enough with yourself.
I think you could deserve better.
Because again, it comes from your childhood too. Yeah. Like if somebody told you weren't good enough, no matter how pretty you are on the outside, you're going to think you're not good enough and you're going to end up attracting those relationships. So I don't think it really matters what status you are as far as, if a man that a woman does that. It just depends on the person.
But in some cases, though, some people do make exceptions for people who, even they're celebrities or a certain thing. Like, even I'm not saying what they're doing is right, but some people overlook certain things based on where a person is.
Because they love the lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
But they have no peace and stuff like that.
They
we see it with the athletes.
They probably don't even love him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're like, okay, I don't care if he has it, but that's...
Yeah.
It goes back to, I'll say for women, and I don't like speaking for all women, but for some women, our value, how we view ourselves aligns most of the time with our standards and what we're going to put up with. So if I value myself and I don't have delusional standards, right? I have practical, real standards, and loyalty is a big thing, especially like depending how you were raised. Loyalty, my dad's OG. Sometimes how I was raised, I could be loyal to a default when I was like younger, right? Because loyalty is high on my list. So that's why I've never cheated. But when somebody has done it to me, I'm like, to your point, I have always I can forgive, but that doesn't mean I stay with the person, or that doesn't mean because I'm like, loyalty is very high because I'm not going to do that. That's why I say it goes back to how we were raised, right? Yeah. But for some people, and I value myself, and I know, I deserve better because there's men out there that won't cheat, won't risk it all, won't throw their whole family away just for something, one night stand or whatever.
Appreciate
so is that the same loyalty? Like, for instance, there are some celebrities that have 2 girlfriends or 2 wives or whatnot. Is that the same loyalty? Because like y'all mentioned, their status is enough for them to is accepted enough for those women to be able to say, we're both going to be girlfriend or wives to this man.
But how are you being loyal when you have multiple people?
They're loyal to him. And they're loyal to each other, the union,
But
they're loyal to the situation.
Blind loyalty. That's not healthy loyalty.
I'm being a little spicy with it because that's what works for them.
Yeah, but that's what works for them. That doesn't mean it's really healthy. And again, it goes back to how you value yourself, because men, y'all are okay with having multiple, but most women, you do want, like you said, we just want that one guy.
The swan.
They got that one guy.
But
if we're got both of them.
But it goes back to how they view themselves.
Yeah.
They view themselves like, I want this lifestyle. I hear what you're saying, but they want this lifestyle. And like we all know women are very hypergamous, right? They want the best that they can get. So they have a top-notch guy. They're both loyal to him, and he has status and money. Their situation works. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where they provide a status.
It's a small percentage, right?
Yeah, it's a small percentage of men that can do that, right? Yes, I agree. Yeah,
even so, there's because there's a lot of women women with the athletes, and they know they cheat, and they feel like that's what they signed up for. But instead of them wanting,
you know what it is when you signed up.
They signed up for that, but they don't have no peace, or they do their own thing too.
Right.
But they have the lifestyle. But again, that's what they value. They value materialistic stuff over having my sanity and be able to sleep at night, having a peace of mind.
Peace is priceless.
That's what let's be real. That's what they are valuing. That's what their idol is. That's what they see they put up here on a pedestal. I would rather forsake this down here because I want this. I'm not saying that's let's call it what it is.
Peace is priceless.
Yes.
You can't put a dollar on peace.
You cannot. Having a peace of mind.
At all. Being honest. No.
The older, it's when I say it's dope being the older you get, it's a very refreshing because you're so comfortable in who you are, and you learn from a lot of, you learn not only from your experiences, but you learn from the experiences around you, like people around you, and you understand, like when you have peace.
Oh yeah. priceless.
Yeah, like yo, you cannot. That's why when you do the stuff, like you listen, like when they do the interviews and they do the studies that say that's why a lot of people are choosing to be single because they are happy in their peace.
Peace, absolutely.
That's what it's saying.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yep, 100.
I don't understand why when people want ready to cheat, why not just break up with the person? Hey, I'm about to cheat. I'm about to go ahead and get busted out open over
I would
here.
rather you break up.
Yeah,
I'd rather you break up.
exactly.
with
Let
me.
me
But I'm
know.
gonna ask this, and one of you guys can answer this. Why is it? Why can't people just do that? You know what? Hey,
don't
babe, I'm
know.
about to cheat. Let me. I know it's. we know why,
We know
but it's
why.
I don't know.
like let's just keep it a big. Why not just say, you know what, babe?
Well, why don't men do that?
Yeah.
Is it what he said they want
I
to have
like-
their cake? Yeah.
I want to have my cake and eat it too, and
Okay.
I
It's
like
kinda like a
and the
toy,
chick that I'm
right?
about to cheat on, I like what she does for me, and I love, and it very stable, and I probably get my feelings are probably I have a lot invested in that woman, so I don't want to lose her
You don't wanna lose your
for a
trophy.
part-time
For a
love affair
part-time,
that don't
yeah,
mean
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
This is part-time love affair.
Because you'll see people like where they fumbled the bag, like they were saying, Wendy Williams' husband, like the house foreclosed, and the woman that he cheated and had the baby, and then she left him when he lost all the money.
Oh.
Or just like Kendu, who cheated on Mary J. Blige, he came out and said he can't, just this week, he can't get a job, he can't get employment, But y'all fumbled what you had.
Right.
And then didn't realize, and now you're still paying for it.
Right.
So it's like, that's why I was asking you, why don't you, you have to realize what you got, to your point.
And, that, and
Why
that's,
wait
that's,
till it's
that's one
gone?
thing. That's one thing I noticed too, man. And I've been in this situation once where you don't realize what you have until it's gone. And that's one thing. When you got
Why
something
wait?
good, here's the thing: when you got something good and you f up, it's hard to get it back. You might have to kiss some butt. You might have to kiss some ass just to even attempt to get it back. You still might not get it back,
Especially when
because
you
you
did-
had it. It was that good, and you can't even get it back. You can't even get that back.
It's called consequences.
Especially when you're dealing with
Consequences.
powerful women and you fumble the bag. And
And she may still love you. She may even know you sorry.
I honestly don't even know
man,
why a man, if he's dealing with a powerful woman, that's considered a breadwinner. I don't even know why he would even cheat on her in the first place. Though, honestly, respectfully,
Stupid.
like she's kind of the breadwinner in the situation. Like I could see the situation reversed, but if you dealing with a high powered woman, like you, I don't know why you even make that.
Maybe she's not desirable in the bedroom. Maybe she's boring. Maybe because here's the thing. It goes back to a show that we had previous about what a person looks like on paper versus reality. Yeah, maybe on paper, yeah, she's rich, she's a powerful woman, but as a woman, maybe her box thing. I don't
But
know.
that's when you
Maybe she ain't
That's when you
busting
talk.
it wide. I'm just saying that, like when Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, people were so shocked. Oh, Jay-Z. I said, what are y'all surprised about? He got it. I mean, what? I don't understand why y'all are so surprised. What you mean? Like they're still people. People make mistakes. But you think Beyonce is so holier than thou? She can't be
hear
cheated
you.
on.
No.
Right.
That's crazy to me.
But I like what he said, because let's just use the two examples I just used, because that just came out literally about both of them. I like what you said, because it's like, if that's what you want to do, you're not smart enough to put yourself in a position that if it does go left, I'm good.
Right.
You waiting on the internet crying. You can't get no job. You ain't got no money. Your house got foreclosed, and the side piece left you when you left, because you ain't using wisdom. You know what I'm
You
saying?
didn't think,
At least
yep.
put yourself in a
Yep.
situation like,
Right.
if I do fumble this powerful woman,
Yeah, right. You
got
I'm
your
still
cooks.
so
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're
Thing is,
good. You're
like
good.
when it comes like that, the type of cheating situation, in that situation, the woman has more leverage probably in the situation. That's why you don't hear about Stedman cheating on Oprah. Like that ain't gonna happen. She has the leverage in the situation. So with him, he fumbled the bag by stepping out doing that.
And then also, I'm thinking too that with him doing that could have been also insecurity again. Insecure by a powerful woman. Doesn't necessarily mean that her box was not good. It could just mean that, you know?
What would you guys say is like? It's good stuff. What would you guys say are the risk factors with cheating? Like, what are the risk factors with that? And y'all can just go around. Like, what are some risks that people are taking when they, like, how big of a gamble is cheating? Or is it even a gamble at all? What are the risk factors, if there is any? Because I feel like people having sex like it's lunchtime now. It's nothing. I mean, just whatever.
You said it. Diseases, losing everything.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
just embarrassment,
Losing everything.
depending on
Yeah,
who it
losing everything.
is, because you never know.
Starting a family.
He or she, depending on, like, you have a certain status in your community and you hook up and your side dude or side chick is, withholding those secrets, and they want to use it against you.
Soul ties.
Well, yeah, that too. Soul ties, wrecking your home. I mean, just a lot of different risks. There's a lot of different risks to stepping outside.
Hurting the kids.
Emotionally.
If you got kids involved,
Yeah,
the
the
kids,
family
It's a lot.
dynamic.
the kids.
That's
It's like a
Sum it up
domino
in
effect.
just
It's a
one.
domino effect, really.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
And back in the old days, if you cheated on your spouse or cheated on somebody, they call it treasoning, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a different sort of crime, but
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, and then impact on the children. Like people are still scarred as adults walking around because one of their parents cheated and they saw what it did to either the mom or the dad. You know, and they haven't healed from that. You will hear people say that, and maybe that's why they will never cheat on, you know,
Or they can't trust someone.
yeah, or trust somebody. Yeah, so there's a lot of risk factors. I don't think
Yeah.
people realize it in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A domino effect. It hurts everybody.
They had there was a conversation about I was watching this YouTube channel. They were saying that a lot of these passport bros or a lot of these guys that's going overseas and going to these different countries to have sex and cheat on their wives and stuff, you have like 80 to 90,000 new cases of HIV coming out now. People just going to different countries, even in, you know, you may go to Atlanta or you might hit Houston. People just going out, just doing whatever. But then
risking your
a
life.
lot of this stuff is on a rise. And it's like, you know.
You know, you're risking the woman who's loyal to you know, her life, you know?
And
Spreading
it
It's not
also,
fair.
is it cheating or is it also like people just aren't using protection because they said that a lot of the the younger people, they don't use protection. Studies are showing
I just
that.
don't understand why people like,
They
especially
don't
if you're
use
in a
protection.
marriage. Why would you, if you even going to step outside your marriage, why would you have unprotected?
And it happens all the time because
I
people
just
have
don't
babies on
understand.
each. Yeah.
But y'all can't. Wait.
Because the woman gets pregnant and then,
And this
like you
is
said,
man
the
or
husband.
woman. This is man or woman.
Well, we can't.
Definitely,
Here's the thing. I
definitely.
agree with you guys, but we can't act like cutting raw don't feel better.
I get it, but
Yeah, but
I'm not
but
saying
if
it's
you're
right.
gonna
I'm not
step
saying it's
out,
right.
be
I'm not saying it's
but
right.
it's,
If you're not going to be
Listen.
smart,
I got you.
Right.
cheat with some sense.
Yeah.
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 No, be
Don't
conscious
don't be
of
too
that.
messy. That's just messy.
Yeah.
That's
be
very
messy.
If you
messy.
gonna cheat because like
That's how you have dudes having multiple
like somebody
kids.
trying
Yeah.
to get a job or get a position in life or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, even that sounds bad saying that, but make it make sense.
Or sometimes people don't think they can get pregnant on a one night stand. I was just watching
Yeah,
the
it
show
happens.
last week. They was like, "Oh,
It
we got
happens.
pregnant on a one night stand," and they was so
happens.
confused because it's like, what?
Like,
what?
they don't know
do you
science.
know anatomy? Yeah, like it can happen if you're not using any protection. But that's what I said. That's what the statistics are showing. Just a lot of people are not using as much protection anymore because of all the new medication that can prevent HIV and things and stuff of that nature. Then people aren't going to the doctor as much after
That's
COVID.
dangerous. That's
they said that
crazy.
men and women, they're not going to the doctors as much. So people are walking around with stuff they have no clue and it's spreading.
I'm glad.
So when I
to
say
mention
there's a
the-
peace of mind when you ain't doing nothing.
Peace of mind here too. I'm like,
crazy.
listen, I'm glad I'm not out there.
Yeah, that part. That part.
That's
So,
a little rampant.
yep.
You know,
Yep.
so
Let me ask y'all this though. I got a question, and yeah, we all can answer it individually. I'm just curious what everybody's perspective. I'm gonna start with you, Hafiz. There's a phrase: "Once a cheater, always a cheater." What is your perspective on that? Do you think it's true? Is it not true? I just want to know, and then we'll get to, because everybody may have different perspectives on that. But do you feel like once a cheater, always a cheater, or can somebody be reborn again? Can somebody really put their cheating ways behind them and really just be a new man or a new woman and move forward? But when you hear that phrase, once a cheater, always a cheater, what's your perspective on that?
man, that phrase is used. It's like a slang phrase just to try to like protect people from when somebody does encounter a cheater, and to make them evaluate the situation. Like, oh, if he cheat on you once, or he or she cheat on you once, and you know he gonna do it, he or she gonna do it again. I want to believe that people can be taught and learn to not, learn from their mistakes and not, do it again. But then again, there is that term why once a cheater, always a cheater. But I think it's mostly used to protect people in situation relationships, to make them move accordingly, to vet, to be smarter if that does happen to them. Because I mean, let's keep it honest. When it doesn't feel good when somebody cheats on you. You feel disrespected. You feel like the trust is lost. And sometimes it can be hard to get that back when someone has misbroken your trust. So I just think that's a term that that's used to protect people. But in totality, I would hope that people can learn and be taught to not, to change those behaviors.
So you disagree with that statement, once a cheater, always a cheater. So you're saying that a cheater is not always a cheater, in your opinion?
No.
Okay, I like that. Go over to our special guest. What's your take on that?
I would disagree as well because
okay,
my take on it is, when you're a cheater, you're operating from the ego, the lower self. But a person can change once they connect to God and really connect to God and be devoted to God, and you're operating from a higher self, then you can change because you do know that you don't want to keep, exchanging energy with other people or your soul ties with just everybody, because that's some real stuff right there when you do bond, because it's soul ties, you know what I mean? So I'm going to say I disagree with it.
Dr. V, the doctor.
I'll say perfect. I ain't got to say nothing.
People have different perspectives on this side. You know what I mean?
You summed it up, boo.
Sure.
Yes, I agree. That was perfect. Yeah.
I'm going to agree too. I don't think once a cheater is always a cheater. I do think a person can be reborn again. I do think a person can really learn from their mistakes and do it better. I think everybody has their phases. Things happen sometimes, but we want God to forgive us, but we can't forgive our fellow man, our fellow woman. And certain things, sometimes we're not going to be forgiven on all things, but I think that's definitely a thing where I think a person can be forgiven, and for sure. Man, you guys continue to like this video, subscribe to this video, comment on this video. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with us while we're in this show right now. Hit the algorithm. Let's go ahead and segue to hot topic, hot mess of the day. Now, I'm going to explain to you what the hot topic, hot mess of the day is, just so you know. What it is he's going to pretty much let you guys know what the trending topic is or what's going on, and then we just give our comment on it. We just put our 2 cents with it. Go ahead, Chocolate Boy Wonder. What you got for me?
I got a joke that a comedian when it kind of relates to cheating. It was just a funny joke that I Yeah, shout out to Brandon Weaves. He told a joke, about cheating. He was like, he went to a grocery store, right? And he said, I can pick up a lot of single women at the grocery store. And he said, okay. I ran into this woman, helped her with her groceries. He asked her, said, can I help you with, he said, can I help you with your groceries? Like that. She said, yeah, sure, you can. So he helped her with her groceries to her nearby apartment. He didn't realize he had to walk up 7 floors. So he was like, okay, all right, I'll help you with the groceries up 7 floors. All right, okay, cool. He laid her groceries by her door. He was like, okay. He said, man, you both single. We should go out sometime, get a drink like that. She said, oh, no, I'm sorry. I have a boyfriend. Like that. And he said, oh, okay. So as a gentleman, he took her groceries back to the grocery store. He said, yeah, okay, well, I have a girlfriend, so she would kill me if she found out that I helped you with these groceries.
Oh my God.
He was mad. That's so petty.
That's very petty.
That's so petty.
That's very petty.
His feelings got hurt.
Yeah.
That's petty.
That's very petty. You know what I mean? Be a gentleman. Y'all hear that, guys? Be a gentleman.
Yeah, do all that work
He
and
did
go
his cardio.
All that work and
she
then
was
go
like,
back.
yeah.
Come on, stop the
but
cap.
my thing is,
Stop it.
if a guy help you with your groceries like that, obviously maybe showing some interest, carried him up 7 floors, and then she said, oh no, I have a boyfriend, and then that's when he flipped it back on it. But I thought that was pretty funny related to this, but
that shows you where his intentions were. You wasn't just trying to be a gentleman. You had different motives.
You were
I'm about to
doing
say
it
that's
So-
one thing about me. I'm all about the angle behind. Okay,
Yeah,
why is this person
motives.
doing
What
this?
is- yes.
Why are you
Why?
doing this?
Because I'll be like, nah, I'm good. Like, first of all, you don't need to know where I live anyway. So I'm good.
all right. So let me ask y'all this: what do y'all think are the professions where most people are considered cheaters? What are some of the professions that y'all think, men and women? You can just kind of
See, Hafiz trying to get me canceled. He's trying to get us canceled.
The medical field, doctors and nurses.
Why nurses? I hear that a lot. I heard nurses are freaked
He
out.
just asked the profession. That's what I'm saying.
Nurses.
I say police officers.
Nurses.
Police officers.
Police officers.
Oh, I heard.
You say nurses.
Doctors.
Personal trainers.
Personal trainers.
Oh
Yes.
man, I heard there are hordes of whores.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I heard teachers too.
Oh, teachers. I'm gonna tell you something, brother. I'm gonna leave it alone. Teachers.
Okay.
Woo.
Yeah, I never heard teachers.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway,
teachers.
I just wanted to see y'all thoughts on that. So there's 2 lists that have kind of went viral of top male cheating in women professions. I'm just gonna kind of run them down. Y'all can give y'all take on it. This went viral.
Interesting.
Some of this kind of makes sense, and I was like, oh wow. All right, top male cheaters: truck drivers,
Oh
Yeah.
man, I heard about them truck drivers though.
barbers,
Barbers?
UPS,
Damn.
FedEx drivers, mechanics, married men,
That's a job.
out-of-state workers, men with 2+ kids, men. I heard about this. Men who have babies on the way, who are single, have babies on the way. Coaches, plant office, construction workers, T-WIC car holders, club promoters, like club
we know
owners,
that.
lawyers, business owners, and hustlers and D-boys.
So no waiters and no waitresses.
Not the waiter. Wow.
I wasn't trained on
Waiter
that.
getting
There wasn't no
boxed.
police
That's
officers.
crazy work.
Yeah.
Not the chef.
Damn.
Yeah, those are some of the lists.
That's
Or
crazy.
tutors, the flight attendants.
Yeah,
they don't have them.
teachers.
Now I
none of
could
them.
see truck drivers. I saw that one. I was like, yeah, because they can essentially hide a whole family. Like especially they always on the road. And I've talked to some girls who said they found out they was dealing with a truck driver, and he found out he had a whole wife and family in another whole city. I've actually run across girls who have said that. All right, now I'm gonna switch it over to the women. Women who pay all the bills. Housewives of rich, busy men, internet models, nurses was on there, military wives, flight attendants, bankers, real estate agents, younger wives of older men, and women who drive Nissans.
Damn.
Single mothers.
Women who drive Nissans.
mothers who's on there.
I was like,
Hey,
But you see how different the occupations are, like
Yeah.
night and day. That's
weird.
weird.
It is weird.
It's
almost
some of
like-
and some of this list is kind of subjective too.
yeah, so like
not
everything.
but
Yeah.
I think at the end of the
Kinda
day,
like-
it's the person. You know what I mean? It's the person.
Yeah, I don't think your career has
Nurses.
anything to do with it.
If you're a low
That's
down,
just-
dirty, you are what you are.
so nurses, I know because I
nurses. Oh my
'cause
God, I'm
they
not
work
surprised.
longer hours
And they have a
they're
bed.
always around doctors
And they have access to a
and
bed.
access and stuff.
They
so-
have
Grey's
yeah,
Anatomy.
and you talking about the status, yeah.
You think doctors and nurses hook up? You think?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Oh,
It's-
doctors,
Absolutely.
they
because
wow.
It's messy there.
When
It's very
you're
messy.
I had
in
a friend who was a
certain
nurse.
yeah, when
Oh,
you're
wow.
and then when you're in certain fields like that, you both have like there's an understanding like care for people, a duty, things you see just like lawyers, you know, and judges or whatever. Just and when you're in the same profession, it's just like you're kind of like minded, and so you connect with that, especially if you have somebody. I don't even know if a spouse, because if a spouse, they should understand what they sign up for a little bit. But when you're let's say you're in a relationship and you're dating somebody, because it is hard. It's hard for them to have a work-life balance. And I hope he's not watching, but it's hard to have a work-life balance, some of them. So it's like, you know, everybody, that lifestyle that profession isn't for everybody's lifestyle. You know what I mean? So they do find more of that connection with each other. So yeah.
and he's like her subordinate, right? When you look at a nurse and a doctor, right?
Or it could be a female, doctor or something.
Yeah, I'm saying female.
Either
There are some
or,
male
yeah.
nurses.
Or,
too.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
even nurses, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny, I didn't hear anything about people in the banking field. I don't hear about the accountants, people in the bank doing banking and stuff. I'm like, I know it's some
they did
effort
have
going
banking
on.
for as
Yes.
female. They did have banking.
Oh,
And
yeah.
real estate agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because probably looked at
Real
their
estate
level.
agent.
Yeah, they have real
That's
estate agents.
I'm not surprised with real estate agents.
Yeah.
I got
Because
to.
Well, they
they're
have
around
access to a
people,
house.
Yeah.
And it depending if they selling like really large, expensive homes, They be around some well-off people.
Like you take
They
an
be
NFL
real-
player
they be
looking
real
for a
flirty.
house, and then
Yes,
the real estate
yes,
agent,
yes.
maybe she's feeling him a
Location.
little bit.
Yes.
You know what
Easy
I mean?
access.
It's like, shit,
Yes, smashing my real estate agent. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's why I said the professions are vastly different, because then some of those professions for the women, they're looking at it like, if I give them some, I'm gonna get this sale, close this deal or something.
That depends on.
Damn,
That's crazy.
that's
yeah.
crazy work.
Some of those professions that you named.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like a quid pro quo type of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly.
It's, well, if you're doing that, ladies, make sure you get the deal first. Don't
With
use
cheat with some
wisdom.
sense.
Yeah,
Cheat with some
like get the deal first. If that's what you're gonna do, you gotta get the signature first.
Close
If
the
that's why
deal.
you're moving in the real estate game.
Close the
That
deal.
is too
man.
funny. Get the keys.
That's
All right.
crazy. Man, this
good.
has been a hell of a show, man. Thank you guys again for tuning in to Chocolate Conversations podcast, especially with our special guest, Narada. Thank you again for tuning in with us.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
But before we end it all, tell us what you have going on. Tell us about, what's up, which I know you're an author. I know you're an actress. You're doing your thing right now. What's up? What can we find you at?
Yeah.
So I just had my first book published and released on April 2023, and it's called From Pain to Purpose. It is an inspirational memoir, and it's beautiful because I'm becoming very vulnerable and sharing my journey, my healing journey. And I just wrote my second book. It's
Go
a
ahead,
manuscript,
girl.
so it's a spinoff of that one, and that one's in the process of editing right now. So I love it because it's just me connecting with God and just sharing the wisdom that I've learned from pain to purpose, right?
Awesome.
Because we're here to learn from each other, but also teach. So
like that.
yeah,
And
and
I'm
you can find it on Amazon.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what I want.
Barnes and Nobles,
Nice.
Walmart, Maximilian. So yeah,
And I'm so proud of you.
thank you. And I brought a copy.
When we first met, we met on set and we worked on quite a few projects
Yes.
together. So
Yeah.
I admire our relationship.
Thank you.
I consider us really good friends, and I just appreciate you. I admire what you do, even with your book and everything. And I know there's more to come. God has so much in store for you, and thank you for blessing us with your presence and being a
you
part
for
of our
having me.
family.
Yes.
And working with our great people here at Chocolate
pleasure.
Conversations.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Love it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, guys, thank you again. Chocolate Boy Wonder, Hafiz Stokes, thank you, brother, for putting your twist on it. The inspirational Dr. V, blessing us with your presence. The flyest one on stage. Fly as she want to be. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Until the next episode, Chocolate Conversations. Until next time.
Peace.